Africa, the rate of women taking up smoking is increasing dramatically. Women are especially consuming products like shisha, and we know that the tobacco industry is coming up with novel products and strategies to initiate women and children into smoking. What do you think Africa must do to mitigate this problem?
Thank you very much, Kelsey. So yes, Kelsey, as you mentioned that tobacco use and women, and especially in Africa, have some interesting dimensions. So whereas generally in the world, the prevalence of smoking is reducing, we see the number of smokers increasing because of population growth. At the same time, majority of the smokers or users of tobacco products reside in low and middle income countries, including Africa. And tobacco use and tobacco production, starting from production at the farm level, and Debbie talked about this, puts women in a situation of inequality and injustice because it disproportionately affects them from different angles, starting from how they are affected by engaging in the farm work, all the way to marketing and use of these products. And particularly in Africa, we see that because of the fact that the smoking rates or tobacco use rates among women is globally lower compared to how it is amongst men, this puts this group in a precarious situation, because then they are a prime target for the industry for, as they're looking or acquiring a new clientele or a new group, a new customer base. And this is particularly among women and children. And the trend at the moment is that, there's the aggressive and predatory marketing of these new technology products, or the novel products that are intentionally and deliberately designed by the industry to appeal to women and the children by use of contemporary and sort of feminine packaging and marketing approaches, use of flavors that are appealing to women and children. And this has been documented, for instance, in the 2021 WHO report on the global epidemic, global tobacco epidemic that was released a few months back, that found out that there are up to 16,000 flavors in the tobacco market, and majority of these flavors are actually appealing to children. So it is a deliberate strategy by the industry to hook women and children in the nicotine addiction epidemic. And women are also kind of disadvantaged because even at the household level, they are the ones who are affected more by passive smoking and exposure to other harmful effects of tobacco at the various stages of the supply chain and the marketing chain of tobacco products. Apart from that as well, when households divert the household income to tobacco use, then the effects are borne more by women and children, because then the household income is reduced, and the burden of healthcare resulting from the use of tobacco products also increasing the pressure on the little income that the household have. And most of the time it is the women and children who suffer. And when we see how tobacco use and production is connected with the global agenda of sustainable development and the SDGs, then we see also how much this further speaks to the fact that tobacco control measures have the opportunity to support global population, and particularly women and children, to also advance and achieve most of the, if not all of the sustainable development goals. We look at SDG 3 on health, SDG 2 on education, we look at the SDG on gender inequality, all of which tobacco use and production threaten their realization. So looking at some of the action points or strategies that Africa can adopt or can think through to reduce or address these issues, that the challenges that we have with the industry targeting women and children with tobacco. Number one, because of the fact that there's that shift from in the industry, moving from the conventional tobacco products to these new technology products, which are majorly marketed on social media and online platforms. Then some of the things that Africa can do, and as stakeholders across the continent, led by government, is to strengthen policy interventions to effectively regulate advertisement and the marketing of these products online. This is a gap that the industry has noted and is manipulating and exploiting fully, because majority of countries do not have very explicit or clear laws on regulating marketing of these channels, whereas we have laws prohibiting marketing and sale of and advertisement of products in the traditional mainstream media. This is one area that African governments need to prioritize and initiate, formulate, and implement effective measures that are meant to strengthen or reduce and even eliminate marketing of these products on social media. The other intervention that African governments and actors should be able to do is to make deliberate efforts towards adopting and implementing policy interventions that actually protect women. So, bringing that gender aspect in our policy making process, so that we protect women from the harmful effects of tobacco and tobacco use. Whereas we have, in most countries, we have prohibition of smoking in public places, we still see a lot of household women and children at the household level exposed to passive smoking or secondhand smoking. And these are some of the areas that should be strengthened, and this can be done through increased education, increased awareness, and making cessation and rehab services more available to smokers who would want to quit, or users of tobacco products who would want to quit. And then this would deepen and strengthen protection of women and children from passive and secondhand smoke. Another action point or strategy that African governments and tobacco control actors should think through and adopt is strengthening the policies and tobacco control regulations around packaging and marketing of products, and particularly, consider banning use of flavors or use of packaging features that are particularly targeted to women and children. So one other option, other actually working strategy that African countries and stakeholders need to consider is actually adopting plain packaging, which has been is known to be effective in reducing the appeal of tobacco products to the public. And if this can also be applied across these new products, then that would be a big plus, because that is where most women and children fall prey by the from the industry tactics in hooking them to nicotine addiction. Then another option or another strategy that Africans can, as Africa, we can think about as a continent, is to, deepen and strengthen implementation of the FCTC, because the goal of the FCTC is to protect the public and to protect women as well from the harms of tobacco use, starting from the farm level all the way to marketing and advertisement of these products. So we need to strengthen our policies, we need to strengthen implementation, and we need to always have that gender lens in the policies that we make in the implementation. So thank you, Kelsey, back to you.
Thank you so much.